back. I had a request come in through my inbox asking me if I could try to make a football wreath for someone's dad, you know, just to give them an idea of what they could put together. And this is what I came up with. Everything here is not from the Dollar Tree. Some is from Dollar General. Some is from the Dollar Tree, of course. And then some of the mesh is from Hobby Lobby. So I hope that you enjoy this one. Stay tuned and I'll show you how to make it. Okay, so like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is a request. Someone asked if I could please make a wreath video more aimed towards guys for her dad because he likes football. And I went to a bunch of different stores to see what I could come up with. And yes, everything in this video is not from Dollar Tree. I know, sacrilege on my part. I should hang my head in shame, but it's okay. This wreath is still going to be relatively cheap to make. I got this sign here from Dollar General. It was $3.50. And a lot of times if you look on your Dollar General receipts, there will be like a survey that you can take. If you go online and take their survey, they'll give you a coupon for like $3 off of a $15 purchase. That helps when you're buying stuff. I know it's not a lot, but it still helps. But this was, like I said, a yard stake. And this was stuck onto here. And I have tried in every way possible to take it off the sign and make it be flush. I couldn't. I tried with a screwdriver and everything else. So before anybody says, oh my God, you left that on there. You know, if you're at my house touching my wreath and digging around and trying to see what's on the back side, I'm going to smack you and send you on your way. No soup for you. So what I did is I laid this face down on a table and I just put my hand on it and just popped the stake up like this and broke it off. I tried taking it off, like I said, and the sign was creaking and cracking, and there was only one of these in my store, and I was afraid I was going to break it. The 14-inch frame from Dollar Tree. Now, the mesh, I wanted to try to reflect the colors in the sign. So, at this exact moment, I don't know how much mesh it's going to take to do this wreath, but when I get everything put on and then I come back and I show you guys the finished result, I will tell you how much I used. But to start off with, I have 2 rolls of the Dollar Tree green mesh to reflect this color here. And I have 2 rolls of the gold mesh to reflect this color here. And then there's some brown and some orange. Now, Dollar General carries their own kind of mesh that's this color, but I got this at Hobby Lobby. It was $7.99 and you get 30 feet on a roll, and I used a 40% off coupon, which made it pretty inexpensive for the amount that comes on the roll, and one of these should be plenty. But you can use the brown mesh from Dollar Tree if you want to. I just didn't like how close in color it was to the football. That's the only reason I'm not using it. For my wired ribbon, I'm going to be using this from Dollar Tree. I have 3 spools of this. And then, oh God, where did it go? I lost it. I never had it. The ribbon from Hobby Lobby. It's kind of like this really pretty shimmery fall colored ribbon. There's 10 yards on this spool. It was $4.99 and it was on sale. So if I'm doing the math correctly in my head, I should only need about 5 yards for this wreath, and there's 10 yards on this spool, so I should be good. I've got 2 just in case. But we'll see. Like I said, when I come back, I'll tell you exactly what all I used. And I saw these cute little footballs at Dollar Tree. I don't know. I'm going to try to put them on the wreath. And then if I don't like it, I'll just take them off later. But to start out with, we'll put these on the wreath. I got 4 of these, and that should be plenty. Hot glue gun, glue sticks, scissors, something to measure with, and the pipe cleaners, scissors, all that good stuff. And somebody asked me, well, how come sometimes you do the rolled method on your wreath and sometimes you do your blossom method? Why do you go back and forth? It depends on the mood that I'm in. Basically, that's all it boils down to, is the mood that I'm in and what I think will look best on the wreath. And for this one, I think that the blossom method is going to look the best, especially if I incorporate the footballs. So let's get started with this. I'm going to get this out of my way here, because my crafting table is not that big. But to make our little blossoms here, first off, oh, I forgot the artificial flowers. I'm sorry, I did forget that. I've got orange and yellow sunflowers from Dollar Tree that will reflect the orange and yellow sunflowers on the sign. Sorry about that. That's pretty important and I left it out. But to make a blossom, I cut 2 lengths of mesh. Each one is 30 inches long. I cut 2 pieces of the wider wire-edged ribbon. These are 9 inches long. And then I cut 2 pieces of the more narrow ribbon, 9 inches long as well. And I'm just going to cut a V in the end. It's called a dovetail. And the other day someone said, you know, there's a much faster and easier way than the way that you're cutting your ribbon and the way that you're measuring your mesh and cutting it. Look, I just looked around my craft room and I'm not seeing a time clock anywhere. I'm not seeing a timer counting down. And I'm not one to sit here and try to hurry up and rush through something and make it. This is very therapeutic for me. Crafting should be therapeutic. If you want to fold your ribbon and cut it, you do it your way and let me do it my way. Okay? My videos are aimed at beginners, and usually the beginners, they don't have a lot of equipment like rotary cutters and cutting mats and all that. Doing it this way, all you need is a pair of scissors and your basic supplies, and I try to keep those supplies as cheap as possible. Because you know, a lot of people just getting their feet wet in wreath making. You don't want to go out and spend a whole lot of money until you make a few and see if you like it. There's a method to my madness. I've been doing this a long time. And I have my own ways of doing things, and I have a reason behind everything that I do. Okay, so we're going to make our first blossom. So to do that, take one piece of your mesh, like I said, cut that to 30 inches, and lay it with the cut in toward you, and put your thumb right here in the middle. Then just gather the rest of it up like this. Gather, 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 gather. Like this. Come on. Okay. Now I got something that looks like this. I'm just going to pinch that between my fingers and hold that tight. Now I'm going to take my ribbon, and you want the pretty side, the side that you want to see on your wreath. You need that side to be facing your fingertips when you put it together. So I'm just going to layer one piece of the narrow ribbon on top of the wide one. Just clamp it between my fingers just like that. Now I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to get it in the center the best I can. Now let's bend this down out of the way, and then just twist your pipe cleaner, and there is part of our blossom here. Now you don't have to straighten all your ribbon out like right now. You can do that later once you get it on your wreath, but I'm going to straighten it out here just to show you a better idea of what it will look like. Okay, so now we're going to make another one just like this. And I have my mesh cut just like this. I'm just going to gather it up. We're just going to do the same thing. Just gather it up just like that. Hold it between my fingers. If your hands hurt, if you have arthritis, if you can't do this, you can use a clothespin. You can use a big long hair clip, or if you have like a Pro Bow or Bodabra or something, then you can use that to clamp it down. Now this is our little bundle that we already have made. We're just going to flip it over, take this bundle with the ribbon facing down, just lay it right on top, and then just twist your pipe cleaner around like that, and that's that. Now let's straighten out our ribbon and see what we got. Like that. Now what we're going to do is I want to put a flower in the center of this. Okay, so let's take one of our flowers here. Make sure your petals isn't all funky. With these Dollar Tree flowers, sometimes your petals can be all bent, and if they are, just get you a spray bottle of water, just mist it with water on both sides, lay it face down like that, and they'll flatten right out once they dry. Okay, so I'm going to pull this off. And then I'm going to pull this plastic piece off for heaven's sake. Come on, there we go. Okay. Now this little nub here, where it was stuck to the stem, I'm just going to cut that off. And that just went flying across the room. Okay, let's put a blob of glue. Hello. Oh gosh, and I got to put the glue stick in here. Isn't that annoying? Put that in there. Little bit. There we go. All right, now we're getting somewhere. I'm just going to take my leaves and stick them right down there. And then put another little blob of glue right there. Or a big blob. It's the blob. I'll stick that right there. Okay, now I'm going to set that off to the side. I'll let that set up. And You know what? I'm going to try to attach one of these footballs. Let's see how we can do that. And I might just treat this like I do a lot of my other foam decorations. They're not very heavy, so I'm just going to turn it over to the back here. And I want to stab it with my scissors. Just like that. Just kind of rip a hole in the back of it here. There we go. Being careful to not poke through the other side. Like I said, there was only 4 of these in my store. I don't want to screw it up. Okay. Now, let's get a pipe cleaner. And I'm afraid, because if I glue this down, I'm afraid it's just going to pop right off. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to kind of spread this apart like this. And I've got my low temp glue gun because this is foam. And the high temp gun may melt it a little bit. So I got my low temp gun here. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down in there. First, I'm going to put another glue stick in there. My kids must have been in here, pulled the extra glue stick out of the gun or something. I'm just going to pump it full of glue. And then I'm going to fold a pipe cleaner in half, and then we're just going to stick that down in there. Just like that. And then I'll set that off to the side and let that cool, and then that'll give it something to attach itself to the wreath with. Alright, so I'm going to make some more of these blossoms. The ones that I make with the gold and the green, I don't want to put any flower or ribbons on. These are just going to be plain bundles, okay? I'm just going to cut these to 30 inches, gather it up, put a pipe cleaner around it, gather up another 30-inch piece, put a pipe cleaner around it with no ribbon and no flower. All right, and then when I come back, I'll show you what that looks like, and I'll show you what I do with the little footballs. So hang on a minute. Okay, now let me show you what I've come up with on how to incorporate the footballs. So this is what my little blossom looks like. Of course, you saw this a minute ago with the flower. Let's set that to the side. This is what they will look like without the flower and without the ribbon. It's just the 2 pieces of mesh put together. That's what they look like, just the plain ones. And now I think what I want to do is, y'all saw me put the pipe cleaner down inside the little football, so I'm going to set that right beside of me. And now I'm going to make another little blossom with the 30-inch piece of mesh. Let's scrunch that up here. Okie dokie. We got that. And we got our 2 pieces of ribbon. I'm putting it together like that. And now, okay, stay still. And now I'm just going to lay it down on the football. I'm just going to use the pipe cleaner and tighten around it like that. I just think that this would be a lot better than trying to just glue the football on there, because this surface is kind of slippery and I think that it wouldn't hold very well. So that's why I crammed a pipe cleaner up his backside. Okay, now let's make the other part of our blossom. I got junk all over this table, y'all. I swear I need to clean it. It's like I will vacuum and sweep and mop and organize the entire room, but then when it comes to my table's a darn disaster. All right, let's put this together. Now, just like our other little blossom, I'm going to lay this crossways like this, and then tighten down my pipe cleaner. I want to get this kind of tight because I still need enough pipe cleaner to wrap around the actual wreath form, you know. All right, so let's straighten this out a little bit. I think that'll work. Like I said, this is the method that I use when I attach a lot of foam pieces or like big items to my wreath. Instead of just gluing them straight on there, I try to punch the hole in the back and then put the pipe cleaner in that way. All right, so let's get our wreath form here. And for this, just like my other ones, I'm only going to be using these 2 rings on the inside here. And there is no set number of blossoms that you put per section. I just squish it together and rearrange it until I get it to how I like it. But I'll tell y'all how many blossoms I use on this later. So what we're going to do is attach this to our wreath form. There's our little pipe cleaner sticking up there. And like I said, we're only going to be using these 2 center rings. So you want one end of your pipe cleaner around that one and one end around that one. Then we're going to flip it over and tighten it down. Just like that. Now let's scoot it over. And now I'm going to take this little blossom here. I'm going to put it right beside of it. Oh, for heaven's sake, where's the other end of the pipe cleaner? Here we go. All right, now we're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. Okay, I'll flip it over and tighten it down. And of course, I want the, look at that. I want the ones with the ribbons to be prominent. So I'm just going to take the plain ones and just kind of tuck it back behind that one, you know, to give it some contrast of color, but I don't want it to overwhelm everything else. And I'm going to take the one with the flower and I'm going to put it right here. So basically over the whole wreath, look, I've got glitter all over this. So basically on the whole wreath, what I'm doing is I'm going to alternate one with a football and then a plain one. Like this one is green. Then I'm going to put this one with the flower, and then I'm going to make another plain one in gold and put that one on this side. And that's what I'm going to do all the way around. Just alternate football, plain, flower, football. You know, you see what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying? All right, now we're going to fasten this one. Let's flip it over and tighten this down just like that. Now if you can see your pipe cleaner, just fluff your mesh up just a little bit more and it'll hide it. Okay, so for this section there's 3. Like this one might have 3 and the next one might have 4. It just depends on how you can get them spaced. Okay, so I'm going to continue working on this. Just alternate this, green, this, gold, all the way around. And then we'll come back and we'll see what I've got. Alrighty, so here's what I have so far. And what I did is I did a football, like I said earlier. The one with the football, and then a blank one with ribbons and a flower, and then a blank one. I just alternated the colors and alternated my flowers. And so far what I've used is about 1.5 rolls of the wired ribbon. I used, and I was right at guesstimating how much of this to use. I used about half a spool of this. I used 1.5 rolls of this mesh that I got from Hobby Lobby. So that was, hold on a second, that was 30 feet and a half, would have been like 45 feet. So, okay, if you were using the Dollar Tree mesh, if you wanted to use Dollar Tree brown mesh, you would need 3 rolls of that to use the same amount that I did with the Hobby Lobby, pretty much. The flowers, and so we are good to go. And I tried to get the footballs. I know it's so hard to see on here until I can get another camera rig set up. Try to get the footballs like right across from each other. Okay, now the sign here, and let me show you right quick how much of the Dollar Tree mesh I had left over. So I got this much left over on the other rolls. So about 1.5 rolls of each color from Dollar Tree. Now here's my sign. I just hot glued my pipe cleaners onto the back like I do all of my other ones. And now I'm just going to, can y'all see this? I'm just going to center this. And like I do on all of my other videos, just take the pipe cleaners, just move your mesh around. However, you can get your hands down in there and then attach the pipe cleaners to the frame. Oh, Lordy. I think that's the hardest part after everything is on, is attaching the sign. While I'm doing that, I've had a lot of people to say, well, not a lot of people, actually I counted, it's only been like 5 people say, why don't you ever show the finished product at the end of the video? I show it for several seconds while I'm talking at the beginning of the video. So, you know, it's like, I don't want to show it twice. Let me do my thing. But anyway, now I'm just going to attach the rest of the pipe cleaners just like I did that. And that's the boring part, so I'm not going to make you watch all that. But if you would, please give me a thumbs up on this video by clicking the little like button. Please subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media. I'll have the links to all of those in the description box down below, and I hope to see y'all next time. Bye-bye.